like poor mum. So I went to Tasmania to become a frontline forest activist.
Okay.
And then, but my mum had no idea. She thought I was at a university. And then next thing, I'm on TV walking out of prison, and she's just like, oh.
And a massive thanks to my sponsors, I'm Not Plastic, Ocean Freedom Co., Wazoogles, Good Co., Namuti, and So Pure Naturally. And I'd love to welcome Karlien Van Rooyen. That's a proper South African name.
Aloha.
Karlien, welcome. It's
Thank you.
Awesome to have you here.
Yeah, sick to finally converge.
Connect.
Yes.
Karlien made this beautiful. What is it? Is it a vase? What would you lay?
It's political.
Okay.
So political. No, I mean, so there's this like clash, freaking death fight between like potters and ceramicists. Yeah, so I call them pots or vases or whatever, but other people
Vases.
Vases.
Vase is an American thing.
I know. So yeah, it's a pot or a vase, but there's a battle off between potters and ceramicists. So potters are like crafters,
Yes.
and ceramicists are like artists with a capital A.
Okay, so potters are the ones that push that wheel
Yeah,
and then
clap the pedal.
like that scene from Ghost with Patrick Swayze that I think I
Exactly.
sent you to watch at
You
one
did.
point.
You
Yes,
did.
yeah. Because you didn't know what I was talking
I
about.
had no idea.
So you clearly aren't in the potting scene. So you are like truly and squarely a ceramicist.
Sure, I like the C word, so I'm
Okay.
a crafter as well. I
Oh,
don't,
okay.
I don't need the
Okay.
yeah
You're a crafter
title.
and a ceramicist and an artist.
Yes.
So let's rewind. You grew up in Kommetjie in the deep south.
Correct.
And you were a bit of a surfer back in the day.
Yes, absolutely.
And you surfed for
Boland.
the Boland.
Yes, I surfed in the SA Champs when I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you come?
So it's actually a crazy story. I still have a hole in my ankle. Like a week before the SA Champs, I was surfing at Strand,
Right.
and a stingray's barb went straight through my ankle.
Oh my word.
Yeah, so I think women under 30 something, I was 7th. So I was shit, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you still got the hole in your...
I do.
Can I see it?
Yes, you can. It's right there. Feel it. There's a hut.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
gross.
that's Steve Irwin is the guy that got it in his heart.
Chest, yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
crazy is that? Can't
Well,
believe it.
You got it in the ankle. Just missed your Achilles heel.
Imagine.
Imagine, that would have been tragic.
Yeah.
You would have walked up the stairs here with a limp.
Yeah.
And then, so did you stop surfing after that?
I took a bit of a break, but so we migrated to Australia, and then we went to the middle of nowhere. My dad picked a spot on a map that looked like it was right next to the sea, and it was flat, nadas. So yeah, I stopped for a while.
West Coast, East Coast?
South Australia.
Oh, right.
Yes.
And you were like hours from the beach?
Hours, and there was also just like
Nothing?
no surf.
Okay.
But my sister is she won some championship in India. She lived there, so she's insane. She's a tank.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's a really good surfer.
Tank?
She's tank.
What does that mean?
She's like twice my size and like a hulk of a woman.
Oh.
Yeah,
She's
but
like
a babe, like an Amazon. Yeah,
a tank babe.
a tank babe.
Remember
An
that
Amazon
film?
Tank babe. Tank girl.
Girl.
Yes.
Okay. My sister's a tank babe who surfs. Ever heard that expression?
A tank babe who says, is it?
That's a new one to me. All right. And how long were you in Australia for?
12 years.
Okay. Did anything else tragic happen to you?
I got convulsive hypothermia in Tasmania.
Wow. How?
I was a frontline forest activist, working for various activist organizations, Greenpeace, one of them. and got stuck. Like our car broke down in the middle of nowhere. We had no signal.
Okay.
It slid down it went straight down an embankment. Then we woke up in the middle of the night, sleeping in the rain under a tarp. My friend got a leech in his eye.
A leech in his eye?
A leech in his eye.
Was it sucking his eye?
Yes. He woke up, well, it was on his eyelid. He couldn't open his eyelid. So he was like screaming, and then there was a leech stuck to his eye, so he couldn't open it. Hectic.
How, did you have to burn it off?
I think he plucked it in the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were having convulsions?
So I think it was a couple of nights after that. We'd run out of food. We had no signal to get out. A car stuck. And then, I woke up in the middle of the night with the forest like heaving around me. And then I realized I was the one heaving.
Oh my word. This sounds like an Australian horror movie.
Yeah. It's classic. It happens there all the time.
I can see this on Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have to get medical attention?
Sure.
Did they have to like fly a chopper in and lift you out on a stretcher?
Aussies are kind of like really feral, so I just toughened up.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to look like a loser in front of all the hectic anarchists.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were a activist, like a Greenpeace type vibe thing.
Yeah, Greenpeace without the like
placards
and
whatever they throw at those boats.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you were like, what were you? Was it deforestation that you were sort of opposing?
Yeah. So the Australian federal government had sort of signed an agreement with China that they would sort of overlook them deforesting in protected areas. So they were taking some of the slowest growing trees in the world, Huon pines, and lots of other protected area trees, and taking it to China, pulping it and shipping it back to Australia as like eco wood.
Oh, wow. That's naughty.
It was naughty.
Okay, and then you were just with all these hippies saying stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hippies, it's just funny because like most people, we were like quite allergic to hippies. We called them nasties.
Oh.
Yeah, which stands for New Age Spiritual Twat Ignoramus.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so not quite
Nasty.
the hippie types. These
with
are
an
like
eye.
nasty
with an eye.
With an eye, yeah.
Okay, so you weren't a hippie. You've never thought of yourself as a hippie.
I probably entered that world as a hippie and then like pretty quickly realized that there's, you have to be like kiff and wear black and be like badass and
To be a hippie?
No, so like activists.
Oh, okay.
Are sort of like the anti-hippies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you. And when did you come back?
Literally a month before COVID started.
Oh, right. So relatively recently.
Yes.
And you don't have any Australian accent?
I did when I arrived. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And it's gone all the way back to fully South African now?
Fully. Yeah, I sound like such a bird. It's pretty hectic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I was in the UK for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
But I did not speak like that.
Crazy.
Let's talk about your craft.
Yeah.
So what you do in terms of your ceramics and I can clearly see that your love for nature and, trees and the earth and the shapes and the forms is what's inspired you. Yeah. When did you start doing this? Was this in Australia or was it?
It was in Australia.
Okay.
So the last year of when we were, like for 3 years, I lived at a blockade. So.
And what do you mean you lived at a blockade?
Yeah. So the Galaribaloo Nation in the Kimberley area of Australia, they were trying to basically like evict them and build a huge natural liquefied gas processing facility. Like the one thing was going to have the carbon footprint of all of New Zealand. This one thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And
they were trying to displace the indigenous people.
Yes, Hundies. But they were in the middle of doing a native title claim. And what had happened is the earth moving machines had already moved in before the project was even approved. So they were sort of decimating sacred sites. So the community did a call out to trained activists to come and help them blockade. it was actually over the course of 5 years, continuously, they blockaded that country. And everything sort of like escalated in the year I arrived. So we'd sometimes have like a skeleton crew. So we're over 100 kilometers from a sealed road. You're literally in the bush. There was like, I didn't shower for 4 months at a time. Yeah, it was wild.
Do you hear that? You didn't shower for 4 months.
Yeah, it's hectic.
Like, why?
Okay,
hold on. Let's just
You're in
stop
the middle
right
of
there.
nowhere. You're in the bush.
Okay, but
The bush.
okay,
I don't know
all
why I say
right.
it like
So
that.
you here with your parents?
No.
Oh,
Where?
Australia.
Oh,
Did you go over with your parents?
yeah. So we migrated there.
Yes, immigrated.
Immigrated. Yeah, good.
Birds
good catch. True. We immigrated, and
Yes.
then the family kind of disbanded. So
Oh,
I
right.
I
Okay.
went to medical school,
Okay.
and then I went AWOL.
Did you finish medical school?
No,
Oh, you're a doctor.
no.
Okay.
So I changed to specialize in like neuroscience.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a neuroscientist.
I actually have one more topic to
Are
go,
you reading
so I
my
can't
thoughts?
claim that. Why? No.
No, I thought you're profiling me
Oh,
or doing some sort of a
right.
psychological analysis
Yeah.
of my
What?
eyes.
Your eyes twitching in the direction.
No? Okay.
No,
Let's go back to Australia. So
unfortunately. Okay.
you disbanded.
Yes, so this is actually just quite comical, my poor mum. So I went to Tasmania to become a frontline forest activist.
Okay.
And then, but my mum had no idea. She thought I was at a university. And then
Right.
next thing, I'm on TV walking out of prison. And she's just like, oh,
You were arrested
yes.
and you had spent time behind bars.
Bars. I was going to be in for 3 months, but they luckily got me out. So I was there like over a weekend.
Check. You just never know, eh?
You never know.
She's like an onion. She's got so many layers. Stille water,
Yeah.
diepe grond.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so like were you part of some cult?
Essentially, I guess you could call it that.
Okay.
Yeah, not really, but
No, but
Yeah.
like the whole premise of being part of a group of people who stand for something that goes beyond just
yeah.
politics, and that there was like a spiritual reason, a connection to the earth,
Yeah.
the respect for their ancestors.
Yeah. I think it was an evolving game for everyone who was involved.
Okay.
So especially I think a lot of people, you know, I don't know, like you kind of get the sense, I think a lot of people get that in their like early 20s of just like, yo, shit's real out there. I kind of want to participate, but I'm just here in my closeted life, especially as a white person in South Africa. You're just like, I want to be part of the world, but I'm just here like baking cookies or whatever. And then I was just
Baking
like,
cakes,
yeah,
the muffins,
cookies.
cookies,
What are those called?
Biscuits.
Yeah.
not brownies.
Not brownies.
I'm sure you've baked a few of those in your time.
I have not.
Okay.
Judgmental.
Sorry.
So I think I just started because I was just like, shit, they're like ripping out ancient forests that shouldn't be happening. That seems like more meaningful than me studying bones getting put together or whatever. And then you kind of evolve. Then you build a relationship with indigenous people that are so interwoven with the environment movement. And then you kind of get an understanding of indigenous spirituality. And then the fight becomes more social than environmental. Yeah.
Amazing. And so the very fact that you were locked up in Australia or
Tasmania.
not Australia.
Not Australia. Same thing though.
So do you have a criminal record
I do.
in Australia?
In Australia.
They didn't deport you.
That was the threat. So they were going to lock me up because they thought I was at flight risk.
Are
So
you comfortable talking about this?
so comfortable.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it sucked. Food is crap in there,
In prison.
in prison.
And you were in a women's prison.
No, mixed. So I was actually in a
Mixed
yeah.
prison?
So Tasmania, being such a tiny island, the main prison is in the south. And then in the north, it's a remand. It's like a holding cell. But they send maximum security people there as well. So I had a women's corridor. And then on the other side was the men's corridor. But you can talk to each other through the wall.
So you were talking to
Yeah.
Everyone in
there.
there.
Was a psycho boot behind me. It was rough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like threatened?
Constantly. Funny though, because I was living in an activist anarchist squat with friends, and that was just chaos. Like I would go to sleep at night and then wake up and there's like 3 more people in my room that I don't know because they're just like stopping over on their way somewhere, but we can't know because we don't want people to find out they're there. There were
They're like wanted people.
Wanted. Like seriously, so like a guy that I was at a blockade with, he was wanted in like 3 different states. So he was in that state because he didn't want to go to prison for like 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
The underworld of activism.
In Australia.
In Australia. It's pretty wild. So you kind of got to feel as if you were like bandits, like a bit naughty.
Absolutely.
But for the right reasons kind of thing.
Supposedly.
So we're fighting for the earth.
Yeah, just
but
like,
we're also being treated like crooks.
Yes. Yeah.
So you felt a bit like Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing.
You really do. Like you meet the most like crazy people. Like everyone's, dumpster diving the food or jumping freight trains to get places because they don't want to get caught. So people were like experts in like picking locks, jumping trains, knowing which carriages to sit in, knowing which houses to break into, to like sleep over in. So you can be like...
Did you learn any of those skills?
Of course I did.
Pick locks?
Yeah.
What else?
I can pick locks. I can switch on the mains for houses that are unoccupied. Yeah, I think also growing up in South Africa gave me such a criminal reverse mindset because you're like, ooh, where are the entry points in this house? So when I got in Australia, I was really good at breaking entry.
So you broke into places quite often?
Yeah, like if you're hitchhiking somewhere to go see friends and you need to sleep over somewhere, you just break into an abandoned building to sleep in it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and did you ever sleep in like houses, like people's houses and people's beds?
Imagine, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pushing the boundaries a little bit. But you could have just sort of played along at least and said, yes, of course.
I did sleep on someone's lawn once.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
friends.
not that
No, it's
amazing.
Not. No, you've probably done that.
It must have been pretty uncomfortable and horrible. Although I think by what you've described, you've slept in some pretty grotty places in your time.
I have.
And in prison, were you ever like stabbed or like
I just
anything
came out
happened
with
to
a
you?
kidney missing. No. There was a girl in the cell opposite to me that was pretty scary. She was like schizophrenic or something. So she had like yelling fits and that was confronting.
All in the name of saving the planet. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very on topic actually for Down Deep.
Oh, really?
Because it's very much about ocean and urban conservancy, social upliftment. And I didn't even realize this about you.
Yeah.
The fact that you put so much effort into standing up for organizations that are being disruptive and ultimately ruining the earth.
Yeah.
And displacing people.
Yeah. It's
So
crazy.
kudos to you. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so now we kind of digressed a little bit, but
Kind of
this
does associate.
so let's build up the story to your persona as a ceramicist.
So it went kind of from straight after school. Like my dad passed away and I was with him when he died.
Sorry to hear that.
It's all good. And then when I was in medical school, I think just going through the grief and the turmoil of that made me sort of be like, shit, what's life really about? And I was like, I need to do what I care about. Time's running out. So that's when I did the environment stuff. And then after that long stint at the rural blockade in the north of Australia is when I experienced a lot of police brutality. So I realized like my body needs healing. I need to really like get back into my body because there were so many hectic like riots and stuff that I was part of. And what do you call it when like people break into a camp, like sieges maybe?
Yeah, like an ambush.
Ambush?
So they do that.
Yes.
And would they like spray you with spray guns at those rallies?
Sure, got
Rubber bullets?
just police horse trampling. And
You've been trampled by horses?
I haven't, but I sort of helped.
Close.
Yeah, a friend got trampled by a horse. It was really bad. Yeah.
Did you get hit with a stick?
No, but I got shoved into a bush, and then every time, like a thorn bush out in the outback, and then a police officer, every time I tried to get up, he would yell, "Move!" and then shove me straight back into the bush. And I'll try and get up, and then he'll shove me back into the thorn bush.
In South Africa would have said, "Jy wil mos," and
Jy
then
wil mos.
push him back into the bush.
No
You
mos.
smaak the outdoors there. Have some more bush.
Lekker! Tabakbossie.
Okay,
Anyway.
cool. So now, like,
So that's after those 3 years, I was
you
just,
needed to just,
and I needed to stop myself from taking part in things. Like things were escalating so quickly. I was like, I'm going to get more criminal records. So I committed myself to a year of just ceramics.
okay.
Yeah.
So 3 years you were part of the Bush Bandits.
6 years.
6 years. What was
Yeah.
it called?
So that was Walmadan campaign.
Okay.
With the Glarbaloo Nation, and then I did work in Tasmania, and then also stuff in the outback against a uranium mine.
And were any of these efforts, collective efforts, successful?
Good question. 100%.
Did it repel any of those big projects?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. So
Well done.
Yeah, it's unprecedented actually that we had so many successes. So in South Australia, we got a marine park, and that project against the liquefied natural gas processing facility, that stopped because we actually cost them so much money by setting them back for 5 years that it was a $41 billion project and completely got cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's like a shell getting told to push off.
Yeah, Shell was actually one of the joint venture partners.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you settled your mind down into a year of ceramics, and based a lot of what you do, even back then, on earth forms, earth shapes, nature, right?
Sure. I don't actually think it's that conscious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, you don't think this looks like some organic form?
Eroded thing. No, it really is. It is. I think to me they look a bit more like futuristic.
Yes.
But yeah, I
a
guess
bit like
they're
alien,
organic.
like a bit of alien vibes. Hey?
Yeah. I see that
You see that?
now that you say that. I do.
Okay.
I do.
That's amazing. And what is this piece called?
It doesn't have a name yet.
Do you give your your
do.
pieces name?
I do title them.
Okay, you titled them.
Yes.
So Karlien's Instagram details are going to be down below. Go check her out. Give her some love. Look at her work because, it's absolutely beautiful. You've been a part of some pretty cool exhibitions, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Incredible. Thank you. So I was part of a group show with Smack Gallery here in Cape Town that was actually showcasing ceramicists of South Africa, which was really amazing. But I still have some galleries in Australia as well. So there's a Darling show coming up in December, which I'm really stoked about. And I'm a couple of days away from launching my website, which will
She'll be down here.
Yeah.
What's it called?
KarlienVanRooyen.com.
Okay. Here it is now. You've got a cool studio.
It's amazing. Yeah.
How many people work in the studio with you?
We're 4 people. So I shared with Ash Ceramics, and then she has a couple of workers that help her with production stuff. It's really amazing. It's the dingiest building in Woodstock. We're literally like a couple of blocks down.
Oh, you're right here.
Absolutely. I actually walked here.
I didn't realize that. Have you won any awards?
Sure. I did in Australia. It was so weird. I actually got an award for architecture. I was very confused walking to the stage. Yes, an architecture and design award.
Oh, wow.
Right.
But how does that deem itself
I would love to
architecture?
know. But architecture these days, with building stuff with mycelium and whatever. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's where it came from.
That's cool. And are your ceramics, can we buy them on your website?
You can.
Are they expensive?
Yes.
Okay.
Not really. I don't know. Just talking cock.
No, but how much am I going to have to shell out for something as beautiful as this?
That's a really good question. Probably around.
Not putting you on the spot.
No, I don't care.
Okay, but I want people to know, because if it's really beautiful, it's being crafted by someone who is. I mean, you see you walking past in the street and you think, oh, just another lovely lady in a black outfit, and then you speak to her and you realize, what you've been through and what you've represented in terms of and what you've experienced in life, and then it's translated into this. So you're not just You're not just buying a beautiful piece of artwork and so on. You're buying a little bit of your soul that you're putting into this.
Yeah, I really
and that
appreciate
comes at a price.
Yeah, thank you.
What is the price?
So like 10 to 12K. The
Okay.
bigger ones are like 30 to 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, lekker.
I don't know, expensive for me, not most
Yeah,
Caledonians.
it's pretty expensive for me. How about you, Maurice? Yeah.
Right?
Beautiful though. Absolutely stunning. And what can I do with this? Can I put one flower in it?
Yeah.
Or like just one streaky there?
It's definitely
one
not
rose?
a bong.
Because I
Does look
can't.
like one.
Well, I wasn't going to go there, but I'm talking about like if this is a vase,
It's a vase.
I can only get one rose in here, auntie.
Yeah, that's
Eh? I can't get
problematic.
like a bunch.
I know.
So I don't know about the design. Like, have you thought about that?
Hey, the others have larger
Flute. What do you
flutes,
call it?
Gaps.
Gaps.
I
Okay.
know, openings.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a unique one. A bud vase. It's a thing. There's a whole genre of pots called bud vases.
Cool. Really?
Yes. Am I saying that word wrong?
Vase.
Bud vases.
Like the beer, bud vases.
Bud.
Okay,
Bud
so it is a thing just to have
A stocky
like
in there.
one little thing coming out with a little fluffy whatever.
Yeah.
Bit of
Little poof.
drogie.
Droog stokkie.
That's it.
Or you can just have it as is. It could also be a sculpture, just because it, you don't have to stick something in there.
Is it hollow inside?
It is hollow.
Can I use it as like a wine decanter?
You can,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to.
That's actually you're like sales pitching for me. I'm enjoying this.
Well, I'm thinking of the different ways in which you could use something as beautiful as this, and maybe you should add a little handle on the back and start making like wine decanters and that.
Yeah, an amphora.
What?
An amphora.
What's that?
It's a like Italian clay pot full of wine.
Oh, amphora.
Amphora.
I didn't know that. We've learned something new today. Maurice, amphora. Wine pot.
Wine, decanter.
Okay, cool. So you're so fervently involved with activism in Australia and Tasmania, which is great for the world, but doesn't help South Africa. Have you done anything in South Africa along those lines?
I guess not to that degree, no.
Is it because there aren't as many activism groups here?
I think it's a really interesting question. I've been sort of trying to observe what that landscape is here in South Africa. I think it's a combination of things. I think so much of like humanity is in crisis here that it seems a bit like a slap in the face to be like die plankies. So I think there are so much more pressing real issues that I think it's not as massive or not as like attainable as it is in South Africa. So yeah, I think that it's a smaller scene, but I do think that what everyone put together against Shell was really amazing. So there's definitely like a grassroots building for that. Yeah.
And they're busy putting together another one now against Total because
really?
apparently they've signed off on something they can drill off
Yeah.
the coast, and then you've obviously got Protect the West Coast
Yeah.
happening. Okay, so do you
Yeah.
know much about Protect the West Coast?
I do.
And like with your experience,
Yeah.
I think you could
Sure.
bring something to the table.
I know. I've actually thought, because like my skill set is mostly in NVDA, which is nonviolent communication, and then also blockade tactics. But then the consequences of arrests, like arrests in Australia are almost like a tactic in and of itself because you're so safe going to prison. Whereas here it's like,
Yeah, you're gonna
in the lion's
you're in
den.
trouble. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think I've really wanted to be a bit more woke about what I do in terms of safety. Like also in Australia, one of the big tactics is putting your body on the line to stop things from happening. So you put yourself, it's pretty amazing the repertoire of like we dug holes under roads and put a person under there so that if a truck goes over you, it collapses and kills you. So the idea is someone tells a truck driver to stop and tell them they're going to be arrested for manslaughter if they do drive over you.
Yeah, whereas here, they
Imagine.
will just keep driving.
Imagine. They'd be like, yes.
Yeah, there's so much more bureaucracy and ordinance around, as you say, arrests and how you handled when you're getting arrested, right? And like
Absolutely.
because
A friend of mine lost his thumb
oh wow,
in an arrest.
so he must be like a multi-millionaire now.
Why? Oh, suing. Yeah, I actually don't know what happened to that case. He did try and sue them.
Well, then
It's true.
yeah, I mean, in a world like that, you can, you see.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you lose your thumb. It's like, I'm sorry, but I've lost all my fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think the consequences are just so much higher. And I think also that brief stint of being incarcerated really gave me a taste of what getting your freedom taken away from you is like. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, Protect the West Coast is a very sort of, it's a great organization, and they backs up against the wall. I'm sure there's some way in which you could help.
No, definitely.
So,
I could actually reach out.
Protect the West Coast. Mike Schleibach is the guy to speak to, actually. I'll put you in touch.
Please, I'd love that.
It comes with a lot of experience. All right, what else? What else do you want to talk about? What do you do now besides ceramist? Do you surf? Do you run? Do you walk? I know you
hike a lot.
Hike a lot.
Hike a lot. Yeah, anywhere, everywhere. Yeah, I've been trying to get back into surfing. It's just so cold here, and wetsuits suck.
They do.
They do.
Take forever,
especially when they're wet.
Yeah. Well, that's
nightmare.
kind of why they're called wetsuits.
Yes.
Maurice, can I offer you one of those drinks? Namuti. It's with scaletium.
Oh, cool. I'd love that.
And I'd like you to open it and taste it and tell me what you think.
Okay. Thank you.
It's, I don't know if you know much about scaletium.
Tell me.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know enough about it myself, but all I know is that they use it for ADHD cases.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there's two versions of this. That's the Thrive, which is more of like a wake you up and energy vibe. There's caffeine in there, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then there's the Unwind, which is like the chilled. You have it in the evening.
I was trying to see if it was like
taste,
medicated. That's really good. Wow.
Namuti. So you like are you southern suburbs, northern suburbs, Boerewors, deep south? Are you back
right
in
now,
Kommetjie? Yeah, right
I'm in
now.
Sea Point.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did a stint in Muizenberg. Posh.
Sea Point. Go walk on the promenade with all the doggies.
I know, and the puffer jackets.
And the puffer jackets.
Exactly.
Is that so are you part of that whole scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, this has been like an incredible journey for me. So I was pretty feral and hectic in Australia.
Okay.
Like tattered Vase child.
Didn't shave.
Full feminist, yes.
Okay, yes, okay.
I'm sorry, but yes.
Okay.
And then when I came to South Africa, I really wanted to blend in because, it was a whole mission. So now I'm trying to do my best job at being a basic bitch. Yeah, so the promenade really suits me. I do have a puffer jacket.
So you've moved on to makeup now?
Yes.
Makeup, shaving?
Yes.
Okay, she shaves as well.
Voila.
Bit of deodorant as well?
Time to time.
And are you bathing every day?
Regular? Most days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Most people bath or shower at least once a day.
At least once.
She didn't for 4 months. Must have been lacquer sitting next to you on that 20-hour flight back from Australia.
Yeah.
The stinky
hectic.
girl to the right.
Yeah. Can I tell you another weird fact about weird stuff in Australia?
Yeah, go for it.
So in different locations, there are different fungi in the soil. And we discovered that if you don't bathe for long enough, the fungus grows in your underarm hair and it gives it a color. How hectic is that? Yeah. So there's
that's gross.
It's so hectic. It's rank.
Like green.
There was yellow orange tint and then blue.
That is rough.
Yeah. The measures people take. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah, I suppose if you all smell the same, it doesn't make a difference. You kind of all just this cesspit of smelly creatures.
Absolutely. I think also at that point you literally have a coat of earth on you.
Yes, yeah.
I remember going back to my mum's house after being out bush for 4 months, and I thought I had a pretty epic tan, and then I got in the shower and it was just red dirt. It's like a bloodbath.
Wow.
Of dirt.
Did you have a mustache?
No,
okay.
Sadly can't grow one of those.
Okay. But I mean, some girls do. Some girls have got a bit of a... If they don't put that strip on and that, I don't know. You said you were hairy, so I just thought I'd roll with that. Okay, cool. And so you're a completely different person now.
I am.
Yeah, you are, like, on the promenade, wearing makeup,
Sipping this thing.
sipping Numuti, having
Numuti.
podcasts, talking about your
Ceramics.
Okay,
My pots.
and what's your future?
My future.
Where do you see yourself?
That's a really good
before we
question.
move on, do you play
Yeah.
paddle?
Oh my goodness.
Because
I'm
you live in
glad
Sea
I know
Point.
what that is. I only just discovered it. Have you played?
No.
Oh.
But
I
I'm saying
don't.
everyone in Sea Point seems to be playing that game. Lekker. It's been cool to chat to you. I didn't realize this is your story. And that's the great thing about connecting with someone that I had a bit of a sense and a bit of a vibe that you were more than just someone who makes really cool stuff.
Pots, yeah.
And here we go.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Karlien.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you're a really interesting person. And thanks for all the efforts and the sacrifices that you made in the name of, betterment for humanity and the planet. Thanks for coming on Down Deep, not Deep Down, where we get down and deep.
And deep. I like that.